Welcome back to another Believe in Mavs. I'm going to call it Felton Toss now, too. I got my guy Raymond Felton here. I'm Alex Tassopoulos. You might know me from the Charity Stripe and some other shows, but a lot has been happening since we last talked, Raymond. Obviously, on Tuesday, the NBA lottery went down, one of the biggest NBA lotteries in the history of the NBA lottery. Obviously, number one pick going to the San Antonio Spurs. Victor Wembanyama. Everybody was incredibly excited about that, well, especially Spurs fans. I guess not so much Charlotte fans, Houston fans, and Portland fans, but Pistons fans as well. I do want to talk about the NBA playoffs a little bit. Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy, once again, doing what he does, taking his game to another level. They win game one on the road in Boston at TD Garden. What is so different about this guy in the playoffs? And in a second, I'm gonna play a little clip from Ryan Russillo talking about Jimmy and what makes him different, what makes him so special, what makes him so awesome to watch. But to you, and if you want to expand on just the team too, and obviously Spo, right, and so many of these guys undrafted on this squad, what makes Jimmy so special?
Jimmy is a winner, and that right there sums it all up right there. He's just a winner. You can teach talent. You see some guys like Jason Tatum. Oh my God, very talented. Would love to have him on my team. But if I'm going to war and I want to win a championship as a coach, I'm looking at a guy like Jimmy Butler. And nobody really talks about him in the league the way they should. Nobody give him his flowers on that level. Jimmy Butler is a winner. He goes to teams and he changes teams around. He went to Minnesota, changed that team around for the time he was there. Like, it's just like he went to Philly, changed them around for that little short time.
Yeah.
It's just, and then, I love that when he came back and beat them and he was walking in the locker room and said, y'all picked Tobias Harris over me? Like, that was one of my funniest moments to see Jimmy. Like, it's just him, that dog in him. He's a winner. He's a guy that's going to hold everybody accountable. Like, and then not to mention just with the team that he has over there in Miami, everybody likes playing with each other. Everybody shares the ball. Everybody on the same page. They play defense together as a team. They move the ball offensively as a team, knowing that when the game is on the line, we're going to get the ball to Jimmy Buckets. He's going to make plays for us.
But we're going to be ready
to shoot it. But he don't have to shoot it. They just know he's going to make the right play. And we got to be ready to take big shots. You know what I'm saying? When he does pass the ball. Bam Adebayo playing at a great high level right now. Kyle Lowry, who everybody felt like been missing all season, is showing who Kyle Lowry is. You know what I'm saying? Like hit
Kevin
big shots,
Love,
make big plays. Kevin Love, another veteran guy that can hit big shots. And then not to mention, man, the coaching staff. I mean, Spoelstra is one of the best coaches, not the best coach in the NBA right now. I have to give that man his flowers as well.
Yeah.
And this is him just having a great coaching staff. Those the guys that he have over there. Having an OG like Udonis Haslem over there, keep holding guys accountable throughout the season. And they always do this every year, bro. They be struggling. You look at them, they up and down all season, and they right at the end of the season, it's like they figure it out. They just start winning games. All of a sudden, they in the playoffs, and then they just make a run. And it just shows just the grit and grind that this team is about. But to go back to Jimmy is a winner, man. Jimmy's a winner. He's
all right. You called him a winner. Let me just play this for you. And this is what he calls him.
Butler. Last night, Heat's win. They're now up 3-1.
This is him talking about the Knicks, by the way. So it's a little dated.
Number one on my, I have this ranking as well. It's called that motherfucker ranking. I'm sorry to swear so early at the top of the podcast. I know as some of the parents are commuting with the kids, earmuffs. I'll try not to do it again so soon. I didn't give you much of a heads up, but it needs to be said. It needs to be vulgar. It needs to be violent. It needs to be all of those things because that's who Jimmy Butler is. Giannis has always kind of been my number one guy for those rankings. And look, he can kind of, I don't know how official these are, so I wouldn't get too worried about it. Raymond Felton at times has been number one because, as I've said numerous times, Raymond Felton has the epitome of the I slept with your mom face. That's just whenever I saw Raymond Felton make any facial expression, the first thing I thought of was like, that's what it's.
So that MF'er is what he calls Jimmy. And he's a winner. He's what, a lot of people say nowadays, he's got that dog in him. Like, he embodies kind of all of those different things.
Mm-hmm.
But so did you way back when.
Yeah.
What is the mindset that you took on when you were playing? And was it, I have to beat these guys that are across from me? Like,
Yeah.
I'll do whatever it takes to win. Cause I certainly see that when Jimmy is out on the court, but there's an element of cerebralness and intelligence added to it. It's not just like, sometimes Giannis plays in a way where I'm like, well, no one should step in front of that guy because physically he will run you over.
Right.
But with Jimmy, it's a little different because he picks his spots. And I feel like it's like a chess match and he's 8 steps ahead of everyone else.
It's just all about playing smart, but at the same time, giving it all you got. If you look at a guy like Jimmy, he does picks his spots when he's supposed to go, when he does it, when he want to pass to his teammates, get them involved. You know what I'm saying? Like, he plays the game the right way. It's so cerebral that it's crazy to me when I'm watching him. Like, he might take a quarter, he may not even shoot the ball like that.
Yeah.
Like, he just finding guys. He may pass up a good-looking shot and then give somebody else a shot. Like, some people looking at that like, man, dang, Jimmy, why you didn't shoot that? But nah, it's cerebral. Like, I'm trying to get my other guys going. I know what I can do, but I need these guys in order to win this game, in order to win this series. So I need these other guys here to hit shots. I need their confidence. I need them ready to shoot, ready to play. So I understand totally when I'm looking at him play. I understand totally what he's doing. But then on the other side of the court, he's a dog. He's gonna play defense too.
Yeah, he picked Jaylen Brown's pocket in the fourth quarter, and I was like, and then I saw it. I watched Jaylen. Once that happened, Jaylen Brown had he's probably like 15 feet away from the basket, not facing the basket. So he was, maybe going to turn into a post fade or face up and then attack. Mm-hmm. Jimmy pokes it out. They get a steal. They get out in transition. I think they might have hit a 3 or they got a layup at the rim, I think, from Bam, in like a secondary transition look. And then I watched Jaylen Brown the following 5 possessions. And he was scared to attack.
He didn't want to do that no more.
And look, I would have been too, because Jimmy was going to swallow him up if he tried to go right, left. It didn't matter. He was on his dribble. He just locked in. Jimmy just locked in, and it just made that much of a difference. And like you said, it's the two-way thing, right? And then on offense, I saw him drive right. He's attacking the basket, eyes on the rim. He's at the short corner. Mm-hmm. He pulls up. He loves that jump stop. He's so good with the pump fake. Yep. He feels the secondary defender coming to trap him from behind, and he kicks it out to Caleb Martin to hit that 3 in the corner. Caleb Martin ready to shoot. Like, that is just the epitome of him, but also the other guys around them. And if you get a lot of undrafted guys, and then they're coached by Spo and they're talked to by Pat Riley, like, they are ready to go. They know that their job is always on the line. They know how much it means for them to be on the court, and they execute, man.
Yeah,
they're hungry. Yeah,
they're hungry. And you know what I'm saying? Like, man, listen. When I played, it was just one of those things where, when I got in, I was all about trying to score, trying to make a name for myself. And, honestly, I made a name for myself when I was with the Bobcats. I was
5th overall pick. There's pressure to do that, I'm sure.
No question. Yeah. I mean, I made a name for myself, being a tough grit, point guard. Like, everybody knew when they played against me, they had to play. Like, they knew they had a dogfight. They knew I was coming. I was going to play defense, I was going to be physical. Like, they knew it. I didn't care who it was. Like, I didn't care. Even the guys that I looked up to before I got in the league.
Yeah.
Like, hey, listen, I love you. Like, I got nothing but respect for you, but I'm finna go at your ass. Like, that's just who I was. And that's who I was to my 14th season. Like, that's how I played. And to me, to hear him say that, that's all I ever wanted was my respect from that aspect, that I was a motherfucker. I was a dog.
Yeah.
I don't care about all that all-star stuff. Like, I mean, I almost made it one time. I feel like I got snubbed when I was with the Knicks. It didn't happen, whatever. But as long as, like, my peers and stuff respect that I was a dog and that I stepped on the court, you had a battle with me, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and you wanted to go to war with me as my teammate, right?
No question, because you know what I'm going to bring to the table. I'm going to fight. I'm going to do whatever I can to win. I'm going to do the right thing to win. I'm going to play the right way. That's just who I was. And I was a point guard that loved the pass.
Yeah.
I was a point guard that loved the pass and who could score. So it's not like you could just sit off me like I couldn't do nothing. You had to respect my game too. So, it was just one of those things where, like, man, I was just you have to sit back, and I think a lot of these young guys who end up being in the league, and you're like, oh man, where did he go? Oh man, where did he go? He was so talented. A lot of guys don't understand that you have to think about things sometimes. You have to really, when your season is over with, go take about a week or two and just, enjoy yourself, enjoy a beach or something, and really think about what it is I got to do to stick, to stay. And a lot of guys don't do that. They just think they just need to go work out and just do this and do that and do all of this. All of that stuff is great. You have to do that too. You got to work on your game. But at the end of the day, you got to figure out what it is I need to do to stick in the NBA, to play a long time. What is it I need to do?
So who does that information come from when you get into the offseason, at the beginning of the offseason, before it's time to go put in the work, where you want to recover, you want to get right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it coming from the coaching staff, the development staff? Is it coming some from them, but mostly from you? I mean, I imagine now a lot of guys throughout the entire season, all they see is this guy can't do this. This guy can't do that. He's got to work on this in the offseason. There's so much of that out there.
Right.
Where was that for you?
I think with me, it was not necessarily with the coaches. Of course, the coaches told you things that you needed to work on, and then you go work on that for sure. I think with me is just listening to my older guys, listening to my OGs who taught me how to be a professional, who told me what it took to stick, to stay. You talking about guys that I was listening to who played 18 years in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Juwan Howard, Kurt Thomas, Derek Anderson. These guys all played.
Did you play with Andre Miller when you were in Denver?
No, he wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
He got traded. He got traded when I went there.
Yeah.
But man, just different guys
you did play with Chauncey though, right?
No, never played.
You didn't play with Chauncey? God, y'all missed each other in Denver too?
Yeah, we missed each other. Yep. When he got traded to New York, I was part of that trade to go to Denver.
Okay.
Yep.
With Wilson? With Chandler?
Wilson Chandler and all of us.
Yeah.
And all of us.
All right. I had to get one thing right there. That was on.
So yeah, man, it was just one of those things where, man, I just wanted to really just, lock in of what can I do to stick? What can I do to make teams want me when I come into free agency? You know what I'm saying? Because at some point you're going to become a guy that, okay, you're not a starter no more. So here I'm going in the backup role now. What can I do to get more years out of that? I started my first 10 years in the league. So my last 4, I was a backup point guard. So what can I do every summer to get somebody to sign me?
Yeah.
What can I bring to the table coming off the bench? What can I do? A lot of people don't think like that. Sometimes they get into that egotistic, oh man, I'm a starter. I need to start. Man, listen, you get around 10, 11 years, they bringing in a young guy that they rather, develop because to the point where they feel like you're on your way out. So you just got to figure it out, man. I think a lot of kids kind of mess up with that aspect and just don't really attack it in that way. And that's why they lose a lot of years playing in the NBA because they let their ego get in the way.
Speaking of kids, there are a lot of young guys that are about to be drafted by NBA franchises, get that rookie contract. The lottery happened on Tuesday, as I mentioned before. The San Antonio Spurs have the first overall pick. Did you have a spot that you wanted him to land? Because obviously now they're going to pick Victor Wembanyama out of France, the 7'5" do-it-all guy, one of the best prospects we've seen since LeBron James.
Nobody else wasn't going to get that pick but San Antonio. I knew that from gate. I've been saying that from day one. He's going to San Antonio. I knew it. You just look at, what's been going on with San Antonio over the years. They've been kind of on the down.
Yeah.
They needed something to, and you got to understand, this is one of the best franchises in our NBA who's been on the down for a long time. So they needed something to spark them. And, the NBA wants the San Antonio Spurs to be competitive again. So come on, it was a no-brainer. And I'm not saying they did it on purpose, but it was a no-brainer what that ball was going to do.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny. I heard someone talking about you looked at the guys that were up there representing the team, and for Charlotte, it was Mark Williams, who they took last year, the big man out of Duke. who I really like. I think he's a really good rim protector type
Yeah,
of guy
I
that
do.
can become a defensive anchor for a team.
Mhm.
But like, what is he going to get the number 1 overall pick? And then he's like, oh, maybe I don't even have a job anymore because you've got this
Right.
Wembanyama kid coming in. It's funny. And then Ime Udoka, obviously, like, which I think he's going to do a lot of good things for that young Rockets core. But with everything off the court, like that wasn't going to happen. Not with this, not with this lottery. They just built a $500 million facility in San Antonio. It's going to be ready in the fall. Like just perfect timing. Like someone's got to look
Of
into it just to
course.
make sure,
Of course. Nah, I won't even bother. And I think Pop them has been on a development side for long enough.
Yeah.
And it's time for them to get back to what I know, when I came into the league, how dominant and how good San Antonio Spurs was. So
Right.
and getting a big time pick like this is major. It's major. He's a franchise and a game changer. So, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Just got to stay healthy.
No,
But
100%, because he's really. I looked at him the other day. He's really skinny. He's small, but they're gonna figure that out.
I mean, he's had trainers working with him since he was 10 on mobility, flexibility, durability, which a lot of times, you're 10 years old, you're just at the park and you're playing and whatever. You're a beast at the park and your friend's like, how can you dunk and no one else can? I mean, this is not me. I'm just postulating what a number 1 overall pick possibly could be going through at that age. Chris Broussard, this is an interesting thing I wanted to run by you. He said, if he's Anthony Davis with these expectations, that's a disappointment. If he's Kevin Durant, if he's Akeem Olajuwon, he has not met expectations. I said he is one of the most highly touted prospects since LeBron James. I would say if I were to grade prospects, I would say he's higher than Zion, especially because Zion got hurt at Duke and he's 7'5". Like the guy projects to be a two-way player, an all defensive type player early in his career, and obviously an all NBA type player. He can handle, he can shoot, he can play inside, he can play outside, he can pass really well. He's got a great feel for the game. I think that's what I'm most impressed with. He plays the game the right way. He doesn't just ask for the ball and then attack from there. But to set the expectation that this guy is it automatically has to be a top 15 player of all time, or else he's
still a kid, man. And
that's ridiculous, right?
He still has to get adjusted to playing to the NBA, because you got to understand, man. Hey, he's 7'5". Okay, he still got to play against Jokic. He still got to play against Joel Embiid. Like, these dudes are big.
He's gonna get in a tussle with Steven Adams. Steven Adams gonna throw his ass on the ground.
Steven Adams is the strongest dude I've ever played with or played against. Like, either way, he is strong. So you gotta understand, like, he got to deal with LeBron is stronger than this kid, man. He got to deal with Giannis coming at him, hitting his body hard and knocking him over and dunking him over.
Right here.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Like, the kid is gonna be great. We both know this. They know this. But to put the pressure on this kid right away to say that, if he don't have a certain season, it's a failure.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Don't even talk about this, man. Yeah, exactly. Talking about Hakeem Olajuwon.
Some people think he's a top 10 player of all time. Like,
man, he is. What are you talking about?
Jordan left to go play baseball. Ring. Like, that's how good he was. Like,
one of the best centers ever. And some people say the best. You're talking about him and Shaq. Oh, you got Wilt Chamberlain. You got so many centers. You got Kareem Olajuwon. I mean, you got
Abdul-Jabbar.
Abdul-Jabbar. Like, come on, man. Like, come on. You got so many. Yeah.
D-Rob, David Robinson, Tim Duncan.
Come on, Patrick Ewing.
Both Spurs, though, those guys that I mentioned. And now they go and get.
You got Patrick Ewing. Like, you got so many guys, man. Like, come on, man. Like, stop. Just let the young kid come in and develop, get himself right, and he probably will be one of the greatest to play the game at 7'5" and do the things that he can do. We have not seen that yet. We have not seen somebody that tall, 7'5", to do the things that he can do. But just like anybody else, let him come in and make mistakes. Let him come in and figure it out. Like, don't put that pressure on him like that right away, which is it already is.
Sure.
You know that. And people are going to talk about it because that's what sells. You got to find something negative to say, negative to talk about. But
how would you manage those expectations in the locker room? I mean, something that you're doing now is coaching AAU. I was texting you about it. Like, the summer is the busy time. Right. I imagine you're coaching some really talented players. How do you help those guys manage expectations? And then also, I would just want to throw in there, like you mentioned, you were a number 5 overall pick coming into a new franchise I think the year after is when y'all drafted Adam Morrison,
Yep.
who was touted as the best player in college basketball, number 1 overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
And before you got there was Emeka Okafor, also the number 1 overall pick. So similar to this Spurs group where Keldon Johnson is probably their oldest vet, not a vet. He's like under 26 years old. They've got really young guys, Trey Jones, now Vic, Jeremy Sohan, the guy from Baylor last year, Malachi Branham, the guy from Ohio State. A lot of young players on this team.
Yeah.
How do you manage those expectations growing together as a team, and also for Wembanyama as the number 1 guy? Like, what are you saying to him in the locker room? Or are you taking a step back and letting things run their course and having him grow and learn?
I'll take a step back in the sense of I'm gonna let him feel it out. I'm gonna let him figure it out on his own and step in when I need to. You know, this kid has been playing professional ball for a very long time now, so he understands the level and the intensity. You know, but at the same time, you know, as a coach and as a mentor, you still gotta step in when time needs. You know, when the media is getting at you, when people are saying, "Oh, you a bust," you know, it's going to be things like that because he's going to struggle. Like, let's just be honest here. He's going to have those games and he's going to have those moments where he's really going to need somebody to put their arms around him and tell him, "Look, kid, you're great," and go out there and go be great.
Yeah.
But don't put all this extra pressure on you to bring us home first year. Like, it's going to take time. You know, you need to gel with these guys. These guys need to learn to play with you and trust you, and you need to learn to play and trust them. And, you know, just go out there and just, you know, y'all just figure it out. And that's what I'm here for, to try to make that easy for you and easy for you all as coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same time, you know, just, you know, I'm big on confidence. You know, I'm big on holding you accountable too. When you ain't doing it right, if you ain't doing it the right way, you're not playing the right way. I'm big on that, but also I'm big on encouraging. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know that means a lot to have that encouragement from your coach, knowing that he has your back, knowing that he believes in you, no matter what. You know, so that's what he's going to need. A lot of that.
Yeah,
a lot of that. Yeah.
And I, again, like we might joke about it being rigged or whatever, but it's the perfect place if you want that, because Popovich is a tough love type of guy, but
tough love, yeah.
There's also
accountable.
He's going to hold him accountable,
but he's going to love him though. I haven't heard nobody that say they can't stand Pop.
Yeah,
you know, and I've seen him chew a lot of dudes out. I've seen him chew Tim Duncan out. I've seen him chew Tony Parker out. I've seen him chew Manu Ginobili. I've seen him chew each and every one of these guys out. I'm talking about chew them out like they was the 15th guy on the bench. Like, chew them out. Like, but they love him, you know? And that's just how it is, man. Like, and I feel like some of these young kids can't take that. I feel like some of them can't take getting chewed out, getting cussed out. You know, they're like, "Oh, we got to get him out of here. I can't play for him." You know, then they end up finding a good coach when all you got to do is listen to the message, not the approach.
Right.
Listen to the message.
Yeah, I had the chance to talk to on the Charity Stripe, the other pod that I do, with RC Buford, who's the CEO of the Spurs. This was a while ago. This was like in the pandemic, but he just told a story about when they were in the finals and in the pregame, something had happened in Australia. This was when Patty Mills was on the team, and Pop went and like talked to the entire team about whatever it was, like a crisis or something like that. Like something bad happened in Australia, and they didn't spend the pregame talking about anything to do with the game. And he just asked Patty like how he was doing and like all these different questions about it. And then they went and played. I'm sure they won. I think it was probably one of those, you know, finals runs where they ended up with the ring at the end of it. But that's the type of guy that really, really cares what's going on in his players' lives, and not just in their lives, but also in their countries. And guess what? This guy's from a different country. So not only has he shown to grow talent that's come from within the United States, but also he's already done it with international talent. And he's coached on the Olympic squad before. So he knows what it's like to communicate with these guys. I think he's a guy that cares a lot about basketball in general. Basketball doesn't just happen in the United States. So again, it feels like a really, really perfect fit. So I can't wait to see what happens with this guy. The second overall pick is going to the Charlotte Hornets. They have LaMelo Ball on this team, and there are a lot of different options they could have it too. Of course, they didn't get the number 1 overall pick, Same thing happened when Anthony Davis was coming out, and they ended up getting Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, who was a tremendous player in college, but not the same level of prospect as Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, Scoot is an incredible prospect as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's come out that, Steph is going to mentor him. Great. That makes everybody think that he's going to be, the next darling.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have LaMelo here, and LaMelo is the cornerstone of the franchise right now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mind them picking Scoot with the second overall pick? Would you rather them go in a kind of positional value route with a guy like Brandon Miller? What are your initial thoughts with what Charlotte should do and how they can bring more fans into this franchise with this move and create an environment for LaMelo to have a winning culture around him?
I feel like if you do that, you got to let Terry Rozier go.
Yeah.
And he's a dog, and I love Terry. I love him. And I would love for them to trade him to a good situation, like where he can go play and compete and play for a ring. So
any team would love to have him off the bench.
No question.
He's an 18+ point scorer a game,
easily. I'd like to see him go down there and play point with the Phoenix Suns. You ask me, because I think they're going to try to break some of that up. I think CP might be leaving, going somewhere.
That's a great. I hadn't thought about that.
I think it's gonna be some changes. So I would love to see Terry Rozier go to Phoenix. I would love to see that. I would love to see him go play down there with KD and Devin. Hopefully.
Dang, that would be a great pick. I mean, because we've already seen he can slot in at the 2 and just be comfortable shooting. He's a great catch and shoot guy. He's also a you go, I go type of guy.
Yeah, and he can play the point. He's proven that when he was in Boston.
Yep.
He proven that in Boston. I think
I like that.
Where IT got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Jason Tatum was killing on Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Man, so
he stepped up young. He was young back then too.
Exactly. So you know he got the capability. So I would love to see that happen. But you still gotta there's still Chris Paul over there. So you can't just say, oh, we're gonna move him for Chris Paul. You got to see if that's a mutual thing. Rather, they're going to move on from CP or he wants to move on and try to go somewhere else.
I mean, it's a cool $40 million you got to match. So it's a big contract.
So you got to think about that as well. But I think I would love to see him go there. I would love to see that young boy go there just because LaMelo has been having a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Been having a lot of ankle injuries. So you have a guy that's ready to come in and can play the point as well. You can play those two guys together.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like why not put them both on the court?
Too. You can.
Yeah.
You got two playmakers.
Especially LaMelo's 6'7", he can guard 2-3, and Scoot can guard the 1.
Mm-hmm. Because Scoot is about what, 6'4", 6'3"?
He's probably 6'3", but he's built though. He's strong.
I've seen him. Yeah, I've seen him.
And he's a freak athletically. The guy he's just got a really good nose for just getting to the basket. Mm-hmm. His pull up looks really nice right now. He's a really good player. I also just think about that team in transition. So many teams, I think, make it tough on themselves by not building a team that can get easy buckets in transition to score often and score a lot. I mean, it's kind of what the Memphis Grizzlies have been, right? Their problem has then been, okay, what do you do in the half court? But in transition, they become a really good team, a top 4 team in the West year in, year out, because Ja gets out on the break and Desmond Bane runs with him and Jaren Jackson can move for a big. Dylan Brooks, as much as criticism as he gets, he's a guy that's good in the open break. So they kind of built that team like that. Be an interesting approach to take in Charlotte. But yeah. Oh, and then lastly with the lottery, and we have plenty of time to talk about this stuff, but instant reactions for the Mavs keeping their pick. Are they going to trade it?
If you could trade it to get better and get some guys that can come in and help you right away, then yes, I would trade it and try to help make that team better. I would. I don't know if they're going to keep Kyrie, if they're going to be able to keep him. I don't know.
Should they keep him?
What you think about a sign and trade with Kyrie going to Phoenix?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not keeping him, you better sign and trade him and get something out of it.
You sign a trade and bring CP here. Would that be okay with Luka? Because then he's not going to be dominant with the ball then. I think the ball needs to be out of Luka's hands sometimes.
Are you getting DeAndre Ayton in that too? Like, are you moving the 10 and Kyrie in a sign and trade to get Ayton as well? Because CP obviously is not as good as Kyrie at this point. We know that.
Oh, yeah,
and he's never been as good as Kyrie attacking from the wing off the catch. Like,
no. But that didn't work here. I love Kyrie here. I mean,
what didn't work because the rest of the team wasn't built defensively for it to work on offense.
Exactly. So you have to bring in some defensive guys. So, but who are you going to go get though? Tell me that.
Hey, you want to make a trade you want to sign and trade Kyrie and I don't think he wants to go to the Hornets, but you want to go get Terry Rozier and PJ Washington. I'm in on that.
Yes.
Go get a versatile wing who can defend, who can also shoot a little bit, and another guard who can attack. Then that means if you have Terry, you can move off of Tim too. I love Tim, but those guys play a similar type of role. I don't know. Ayton is enticing, and someone should make a move for him because he's so talented. There's a reason why he was the number 1 overall pick. But we're talking about with Jimmy Butler. I feel like I have seen some things that have shown me that he doesn't have that same level of competition in him. And
I think
you correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I think he has it in him. I just think that it was just time for him to get out of that situation. But Monty's gone. And I think him and Monty was bumping heads. And I think it was at times he didn't want to play for Monty. He didn't want to play. And I just think that, he showed that force and that grit before that. Before they got into that.
In flashes,
no question. So if you can get a coach that can get that out of him all the time in big games and just get it out of him, I think he's a great big to have. A great big to have.
Yeah, but the in flashes thing is to me like the real indicator. Like, okay, so I've been playing a lot of pickup lately. And I come out after I play and I chirp a lot. Like I just do. Cause I play and it doesn't matter the circumstances. Like,
right.
I want to fucking win. Like I do, like
right.
badly every time I get out on the court. Right. And afterwards I'm like, okay, like you gotta like stop, just stop talking. Just stop talking. But at a certain point, that's like who I am as a basketball player, and I can try and change as much as I want, but it's in me to play that way, to play that brand.
You're a competitor, so hey, listen.
Yeah, to maybe hard foul a guy when we're at point game, right? Yeah. Like, and I like the flashes, but there are other guys in the league who do it every single night, who do it every time they step out on the court. True. And I especially think the circumstances would not be great when you're going alongside Luka and the Mavericks. It's a tough place to come play. It really is.
Yeah, it is, but it's also a great place to play too.
It is a great place to play.
You come and play hard and play the right
way.
Yeah,
you like catching 5 lobs untouched.
I'm telling you,
this might be the place.
I think it can work. Like you said though, they gotta find some good defensive guys to put around. And I would love to see Kyrie stay here, but they still need a big man. They still need a big man that can roll, that can play defense. That's a shot blocker, and that's just going to basically change some things around. And I don't know who's out there for that outside of him.
Ulyss is best. Miles Turner, bring him home.
True, but he just signed the deal though.
I know they're not going to move him. They're building. They're building.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They just signed him, so he's not going nowhere now. So who are you going to get?
Capella.
Unless somebody wants that pick. Unless somebody wants that 10th pick, and you're like, all right, give them that.
I kind of want them to take a wing with that pick just to get more depth, because we just need guys too. Like we need guys who can play in that 8-man rotation. Miami. Oladipo out, Tyler Hero out, and probably wouldn't come back until the finals. But that would have meant that they had a 10-man rotation. Right now they have an 8-man rotation. I actually think it's exactly the exact 8 guys that they need to be competing right now, because it bumped Duncan Robinson up. And guess what? He's been playing pretty darn well since he's gotten those minutes.
That man has hit the shots like crazy.
Yeah. All right. Before we wrap, Lakers and Nuggets. 1 game in on that one. Jokic was unbelievable in game 1. maybe lost a little steam in the fourth quarter, but still ended up with the most absurd stat line. Do you feel, my one question on that one, do you feel like LeBron has that next gear to get to, like he has previously shown every other season he's been in the playoffs? Or at this point, is the foot injury been too much for him? Because Davis had a 40-point game where he had 20 rebounds. I just feel like as good as LeBron has been, he hasn't been, I mean, he's LeBron James. He's never bad, obviously. Right. I just feel like that next gear that he gets to sometimes, where I think that he knows more about the game than I do. The Jimmy Butler aspect that we were talking about before, the cerebral factor.
It's showing his age. I mean, it's that simple.
Yeah.
You're talking about a guy that's 38 years old, playing 20-something years in the league. I mean, he's going to be great no matter what. He's great being on the court. He's going to make plays. He's going to hit shots. He's going to score points. He's going to rebound. He's going to make the right pass. LeBron is great. We know that. But it's one thing that we can't change, and that's time.
Yeah.
And that's how old we get, and things change. So, you need those young guys to step up when you got him scoring, he be giving you 20-something with 8 assists.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing his job.
Yeah.
So, you need guys like Reeves, Dennis Schroeder, Lonnie Walker, Achimura. I like Achimura.
He played well. Yeah.
Yeah, you need guys like that stepping up along with Anthony Davis.
D'Lo, you got to step up.
D'Lo, you got to do something. I'm serious.
Yeah.
So, you younger guys got to step up. This man is 38 years old with 20 years of running up and down his court. You know what I'm saying? So Anthony Davis had 40 points and 10 rebounds. He did his job.
Yeah.
Who else is going to step up? And that's why I tell people they don't have enough to beat Denver. Denver got multiple guys that can step up. Caldwell Pope stepped up there. He's a winner. Playing defense, hitting shots. Jokic is going to do his thing. Jamal Murray playing at a high level because we know he can do that. Michael Porter Jr. hitting shots. Aaron Gordon may have a good shooting game, but guess what? He's playing hard defense. He's going to rebound. He's a big body.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got Brown. Brown came off, gave you about 18 off the bench. Guys are stepping up that's supposed to, around their stars. You know what I'm saying? Like, guys are stepping up. So somebody has to do that for the Lakers.
I still felt like in the first series against the Grizzlies, the reason why I believed that they could have beaten the Lakers was because the Lakers didn't have enough defenders at the guard position. Mm-hmm. Murray was able to score 30 points. Jokic is going to get 30 every single night, no matter what. He is that good. Mm-hmm. But where they win in this series, the Lakers, is holding Jamal Murray to under 15 points per game, under 17 points per game. And Schroeder, Reeves, Russell, I like all three of those guys, but they're not defenders like that. I mean, they might have to get really fancy with the spices and throw Jared Vanderbilt out there and say, hey, you guard Jamal Murray the entire game.
Might have to. They did that in the last series.
They did that against us. He played Luka pretty darn well.
Yeah, but he did that. He guarded Steph.
Yeah.
They put him on Steph, so you might have to put him on Jamal Murray. You might have to. I'm just saying. But Jamal Murray is I ain't gonna say he's a different animal because obviously he's not Steph. But, when it comes to that type of basketball, just going at you one-on-one, I'm going to score. He's tough to guard.
When he gets in that zone.
Yeah, he's tough to guard because he can post up. He got a mid-range.
Well, and then
at that basket. He can shoot
also, they love the pick and roll. And if you get the switch where Jokic is on Vanderbilt hasn't played a ton of minutes in the playoffs. I mean, he could pick him apart, and then you could be in a really bad place. And then you're looking at a 45-point triple-double from Jokic with 15 plus assists. You're like, okay, maybe we shouldn't have done that. So it's a conundrum. Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be tough. I mean, it's gonna be tough. Like this is a bad series for them. I feel like Golden State had a better chance of beating Denver.
They matched up better with the Nuggets.
Yeah, I thought they did. But at the end of the day, they still got LeBron over there. They still got Anthony Davis over there, so they still can win. But I don't think it can happen. And I think they win maybe one game.
Wow.
Maybe two. Serious, man. That's how good Denver is. Denver really built their team the right way. And if they stay healthy when nobody gets hurt, I like to see them I like to see who can beat them for real.
And then on the other side, got a pick?
I can't go against Jimmy right now. Jimmy's in that mode right now. He was in that same mode he was in when he was in the bubble. He just in that mode of I'm going to will us to a win every night. I'm going to make sure we win. I'm going to do what we got to do. Whether it's get a defensive stop, whatever it is, take a charge, whatever it is. I'm a will us to a win. So
When
I
he
can't
was
go against him right now.
when he was buying $10 cups of coffee and then selling them for $100.
No, this man's funny, man.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. All right, Raymond, I know you got to go, but appreciate you, man.
No doubt, my man.
Always love hopping on, talking ball with you, and we'll see everybody next time. Peace.
All right. Peace.